Many years ago, a supercomputer designed a perfectly shaped chip, Pringles. Knowing one day, gamers would need less mess to help them stay in the game.
What's the daisy?
Pringles, mind-popping.
Let's go!
Monster Flag.
Monster Flag!
Let's go!
Nice.
Monster Flag!
Monster Flag.
That right there, Monster Plays of the Week.
Okay.
Monster Energy is doing a Monster Site giveaway.
NSE stay-at-home series
supported by Monster Energy.
Come with us. The new generation. The next level. Sending it big.
You're in for a good run. Let's go.
Come with us to the track, to the trails, to the slopes, to the surf, to the fight, to the race.
Look at this.
To the 4 a.m. starts. Training harder, pushing further, hitting back, hard. To the fans, to the followers, and the haters. Come with us to the blood, to the sweat, and the broken bones. You rehab. We'd never quit. We'd never give up. We take control. To the world titles. To the world's first. The world's best. Come with us. We're just getting started.
It's going to be so much fun, I promise you.
Level Up is this amazing brand new gaming and esports festival hosted by Unidays, and you've got so many cool partners and brands here. It's basically built for students.
As you go through the event, you're going to level up as you go. So level 1, we've got the entrance maze, and then we go through and there's a bunch of different levels for you to try out. We have retro, we have reflex machines, we have the consumables area, and finally we have the AFK zone, and our UX stage is the final level.
They've been doing the slurp challenge where they have to make the loudest slurp and get some amazing prizes.
The ultimate drip for 2025, the pot noodle bucket hat.
Mr. P's been doing some crazy shenanigans. We've had an insane Rainbow Six Siege series. It was crazy, it went all the way.
Roehampton, as usual, winning the Rocket League.
It's just great fun seeing everyone all together in one place.
It's so enjoyable playing on LAN. It's just a completely different experience.
NSE is like a huge part of my university life, and I think it's just a great competition.
It's probably one of the best experiences I've had in uni so far.
Obviously, a massive shout out to our headline partner, Unidays, for creating this whole new experiential event for all the students.
Shout out to Unidays and NSE. This has been wild, really, really cool.
Shout out to the commentators, the organizers, and the players for turning up today and giving it their best.
Play some games, get some tokens, open some prizes, yeah.
It felt cool, felt good atmosphere.
It's been a great first event. Thank you to all of our partners, all the teams, all the players, everyone that came to watch and engage with our first awesome Unidays Level Up Live.
Hello and welcome to NSE W&NB All Stars. Today is our first stream of 2. We're going to be bringing you another one tomorrow, but today we have some Overwatch to bring you, and I'm joined by Nat. How are you doing, Nat?
I'm great. I'm really looking forward to getting to showcase some, just as a little slice of the non-binary talent that we have over here on this NSE bracket. But to hand it back to you, Avalanche, we both casted the last, was it two weeks ago, a week ago, the actual Women Non-Binary Cup that ended with the team Meow 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 taking the victory. We've got some reoccurring players here, but what are the names that are shouting out to you from these rosters at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Exy and Mummy Sheep win that tournament, but that doesn't mean that any of the other players are any less skilled. Eloy, an incredible hit scam player, I believe, and also flexed onto some flex DPS as well for ICL. But there's a couple of other players in the North as well that stand out to me. You've got Alice and Karma as well. Taking a bit of a look at, and Cavo as well as someone to look forward to seeing.
I think for me, like those names there are probably who I'd shout out as well. Karma, probably for me, looking like the firepower of this team, has played flex support, mostly Kiriko, I believe, on some pretty good expert teams in the past. Also has scrims on other roles previously. Cavo as well, a bit of a pillar in the community, the Overwatch community, always well known for their very well won events. Have to see if that can bring forth some leadership skills and organization skills for the strategy to come. But the South, I mean, they are, I believe, are returning champions and do, of course, have those returning champions in the form of Exy and Sheepy. This is very much a dynamic duo that you just have to look out for. Like Exy was playing flex DPS actually during the Women Non-Binary run that got them that win. That said, they do play in the main NSE stage and bracket. The tank role and this Winston, this Hazard, this Zarya are all forced to be reckoned with. Like, I think definitely they will be the spearhead that will just be driving this force forward. And when it's backed up by, like you said, a very flexible player in Eloy, who also I think played a little bit of flex support for the NSE team, so even more flexible than needed, I think. Sheepy as well looked great on the Widow, if you remember that fabulous Rialto map. And Fabulous as well. I think this will be, a great chance for them to show off their skills, mostly on the support role, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think so.
Yes,
Looks like
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, we've got a lot of good players coming in. Remember as well, this is a show match, just to showcase all of our players and also the wider community for women and non-binary players in all esports, not just Overwatch. Of course, we're bringing you some Valorant as well tomorrow, but there's many places that you can go if you want to get involved in stuff like this. The Esports Coven is one of the main ways to find yourself into some of the tournaments. But yeah, looking forward to this one. And there's a lot of big names to look out for. It's not as if there's anyone who I believe is going to be dropping the ball at all. I think that the South look very, very formidable just from looking at the players. But obviously, where you're coming into it, you've got a North-South rivalry here. Both of these teams, even though it's just a show match, they want to take this tournament. And it could be a spicy one.
Yeah, I mean, this is just it's a wonderful way to have not only just a place for competition, a place to get some that spicy action, a good old Overwatch bouts, but also for that community, for those stars to really have a place to rise up and develop their skills, and having it repeated here in this show match, having it with the regular bracket as well, and also with it being able to merge with universities, which I think was a great change that was implemented, allowing teams that your university by itself may not have enough women or binary players, but with that merging, you can not only connect with other universities, but also then actually have enough players to field a team, field a roster, and play in. And as someone that, it's always a bit of a loss to miss out on playing in these events, but it's great to get to cast these players and cast. A lot of these players I can see going far, not only just doing the binary scene, but also in all realms of competition. And all these players have to start somewhere, and this is a great place to start or to continue your journey along the Overwatch competitive scene. That said, to get into the game, coming out of the big world finals, there's been lots of questions around what is the meta going to, what are these teams going to bring out and going to play. Looking back at some of those heroes played, the big one, I guess, is I'd be very, very surprised to see any form of symmetric pick, despite it dominating the World Cup. It's a style that you have to have a lot of synergy with and also be almost a specialist on. So I imagine most likely from the South, we'll see XE back on the Hazard, on the Winston, with some kind of a tracer hit scan, tried and faithful. The All-Stars for the North, though, I'm much less certain on what they're going to bring out. I don't particularly know what their strengths are going to be. But of course, that is the place to find out and to adapt on the fly to see how each style can be adapted to, how each style can be fended off, and who will eventually take this Women of Binary All-Stars victory for themselves.
Yeah, when you're coming into something like this, where you're coming in and you don't have players that you play with as regularly, obviously you do have the dynamic duo in the South of Sheep and XE, but apart from that, these players are coming in and playing with players that they don't usually play with. And even though you've all got your strengths, you have to find some kind of synergy there. And yeah, like you said, there does have to be a lot of synergy to make something like the Symmetra work. So again, I'd be surprised as well, but my word, we saw how effective it can be. So if either team is going to be able to get it working, it could run absolute riot. But there's a few other play styles that you can go with. I mean, you've got the D.Va as well, was very highly played. The D.Va Ram sort of two main tanks that shone over, and you can see by how many times they were banned as well over the course of that tournament, just how popular they were. But yeah, the meta seems fairly open at the moment. There are a fair few ways to play around it. We saw stuff like Sigma get played as well, so you can see that there's not really anything that's completely out of the question. And especially where you're just trying to find a middle ground where your whole team is comfortable, rather than just going, okay, yeah, we all know each other. We've all scrimmed with each other for a while. We've all played with each other. We can't, we have a style that we want to play. Just finding a middle ground that you, all of your team finds comfortability in is going to be something that's going to help the team more than just going with someone's strength.
Definitely. I mean, like, as it is with all kinds of games, is that if you have the better team, like you have the better execution, you can run kind of anything. And obviously, there's the skill, the recognition of when it comes to a difference in your composition, what that difference means for how you want to play the game, and not just your play styles. And even if it comes down to a mirror, it's just the same thing there, but it just comes down to the individual player styles, individual player strengths, and recognizing what those tiny little differences are, tiny little advantages are that you can take to get you, your pound of flesh. That said, I mean, looking at the North, looking back at their most played heroes, I do see, not only do I see 4 support heroes being played, which, it helps everyone understand how whoever ends up playing support is going to want to play because they will be in a similar position. But also the Junker Queen is a pick that I think is one of those tanks that can really carry. Like a good Junker Queen that's hitting knives, hitting big axes, hitting big ults. Although they might not be in the strongest state because of how good like Azaria is, for example. Especially with bans being open, I think that a Queen could be a very fun angle to go down, but also a very potent one if that's when they're going. Especially if you're playing into a Winston or a Hazard, like you can really punish those dive tanks by hooking the knife in them, threatening them. The second you want to jump out, you're going to be pulled right back into the fray, and you're not going to get out so cleanly. But I mean, I think we're looking to have the maps and the bans come in soon enough.
Yeah, I believe we know where we're going to. We're just waiting on the South's hero ban, but we know we're going to be heading to Lee Jane Tower to start off with. And what other way could we start? I mean, it's a Uni Overwatch tournament. The amount of games that we've seen over the course of both NSE and USS and the W&NB tournament, of course, previously as well, that have started here. We couldn't really start it any other way, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a great start. And I mean, they're going to ban out the Sojourn. And I mean, you have 2 pretty strong hit scans with Sheepy and Eloy both on the roster. I actually met Ellie over in Stockholm, and they were talking about how happy they were to get back on the hit scan role. So a little bit unfortunate to lose one of your options. That said, even though Soj did dominate, I'd say, throughout the World Cup tournament, Freya still got option. Cass is still there. Ash also had a bit of a resurgence. Bastion, for goodness sake, you know, if you have the right structure around it, why not? Maybe even reclaim a Reaper special just to throw in the mix. And
I mean, who knows? If Mercy was played at OWCS, we could see anything here. And again, that's something that we see a lot in university esports, is we do see those sort of out of meta picks fairly often. You'll see some of those teams go for something that they don't want. But South bans the Ram, just a solid tank at the moment. Of course, as well, you don't know entirely how the other team is going to want to play, but we'll get there now because we'll be able to see these two teams in action as we head over to Lijiang Tower, and we're just waiting for those hero picks to pop up very, very soon.
Yeah, I mean, as the gates walk up, we're going to be in control center here, so most likely we're going to see more of those ground favored tanks, and maybe more of the Zarya or even the Hazard come out from XE. Alice in a tank role. It's a good map for Queen. Pretty short sightline, so you can get that big burst of mobility to get your big axes going on. Looking like a Lucio as well, maybe even a Juno. A triple speed comp here would be kind of crazy. Trace Adventure, this is a all-in, hyper-mobile, hyper-fast composition. But looking the other side, if we do see the double flex backline stick around, it's a lot on XE to make sure these bubbles help their team stay alive, and also on the positioning of these exports, because like I said, it's a close range map. This Venture really can just dig on in, get so much value, just scaring away your flex supports. Oh, but actually a Queen mirror here? Oh no, just for the speed out, I think, from XE. So they do have their partner in crime, Sheepy, on the Venture. That's going to be a pretty important character as well to keep in as they first take a little rest inside the game. As the first level, already high energy for that Zarya, trying to take some pressure.
Yeah, they're going to try and contest server room, but already very high charge for XE. Just trying to make sure that Alice can get too far onto the back line. And now Cavo going down low on the other side. Mint's the first to fall though. Cavo falling not far afterwards. Deacon takes down Mummy T, which is a good trade, but Eloy manages to find Karma, and this looks to be a good first point for the South.
Yeah, it's a difficult matchup. I will definitely give Alice that, because you want to go fast into most competitions as a Queen. When there's a Zarya in your face, you just can't. All your axes, all your knives can be shut down by that Zarya bubble. And once you said this other issue where if you stand still, you get the adventure of Sheepy get in, get value with the bubbles, and let the Zarya go up charge. Just like that, it's a perfect execution. In and out. Now leaves X with the high charge. Karma on this Cassie is going to have to do numbers here. We want to ask Alice before the fight's even begun. It's going to have to be a hasty retreat here if they want no more late staggers to come through. But now, I mean, like you basically had to try and super out-rotate the team. Alice will even go on to Hazard. I like that a bit more. Try and circumvent the Zarya, be even more mobile and less reliant on some big sniper axes. Zarya might be easier to shut down. The ults are coming online. XE almost has the grab. Eli, both DPS in fact, coming up to their ult. And there's nothing on the side of the north yet. But the first pick, though, means that the ults are going to have to be even better from the side of the south to get this fight here.
Was popped as well, so they're going to lose out on that, and they lose out on Eloy as well. Good pick there from Alice, finding the first two in this fight. And it's going to take out Fabulous as well, but here comes the charge back from the south. XE's going to find one, and a second as well, and I think that's a nanoed 100% charge Zarya. That's going to be doing absolutely crazy amounts of damage. Lives through the ventral as well, and now the hero comes back. So was able to find the Bionade to help out XE just at the last moment. And even though there were a couple of picks going the way of the north, the south are the ones who end out on top again. And now it feels like it's a final touch scenario for the north. You look at the ults that they do have a couple to play with. The Raze can be the first one used, but it's going to be mirrored with Kitsune rushing their own the other side. And that's going to be used with the Visor as well. Devastating combo. And taking out two early on in this fight. Finds the third as well. No supports for the north. They're just going to have to lick their wounds. They can't find a way out of this. The last one on point is Mint, but just going to be drilled away by Sheepy. off of the edge of the tower, and that looks like it's going to be everything for Control Center.
I mean, Cavo there, just a bit too late with the beat. I mean, you can really just see the impact of those South players because it was a crazy clutch, I'll be honest. Like, yes, the Nano was used, but Alice got 2 first picks just with their raw Hazard kit. Nano comes through into XE, the pocket is insane. Everyone from the South steps up to shut down what could have been a real ton of events. The North, they had some ults coming up. They could have snowballed themselves there after a few more fights wins, just with the back of those support ults especially being very, very strong. Now, I think Alice will start on this Hazard. It's a much better look. They need to have some more sync up here. Actually, maybe the Zarya is a better look with this Venture. Like, you just make the Venture the carry of the team immortal with these bubbles. That said, perk advantage for XE and Sheepy, and also they have the synergy playing together before this tournament. Karma's also sticking to the Symmetra, so we questioned if we'd see it in this tournament, and the answer is yes. So that's going to make an interesting dynamic with late fight beam presence and also TPs. But Mummy Sheep goes in without a bubble there, gets cut down, and Alice has some charge to start frying, but the point yet to unlock. So far, the North can't really aggressively fight. Never mind, the TP is so aggressive there, but the bubble is good to keep them up.
Yeah, it's a good job by Mint to start off with, finding the opposite number on the Venture, and now they're able to get their first meaningful point capture. They were able to flip just before the end of that first map, but it didn't really do too much. And here we see the Freya coming out from Eloy. Not too surprising there. It is a very long sightline to be able to use. You're going to make sure that Mummy Sheep is able to get back out and get back to that health pack, but in the meantime, Alice is going to get all the heals necessary, and Cavo's looking for potentially a boop if they try to go over this bridge. Sheep is in, out of the burrow, and onto Cavo immediately. Gets down low, but's able to get away. Good job there of kiting. And XE goes down in the meantime. Mint doing well to find the opposing Zarya, and the rest of the team just falls by the wayside as well. Good job there to avoid the initial hit and then follow up, completely annihilating the South.
I mean, you can see the impact that this Lucio and the Symmetros have. Like, the fights are going on too long. Karma is able to go to a full beam, and they have the speed to make their charge forward, where XE and Co can kind of only really absorb it. There's no way for them to kite out of that danger path. That said, coming up an ults on both sides, either way has to step up big on this thread. It's difficult to contest them, to say the least. There's no like real hit scan presence, but there's going to be a symbol this fight, a Kitsune rush. XE has the guy a little bit earlier, but can they find the value through all of this defensive utility?
Yeah, they let rip that Kitsune rush, but they don't have anything to stop this grab until Cavo's beat comes in. A good job to keep most of the team alive, but Jihong's gone down, so no Kiriko for the North. Alice almost has a grab of her own, but they're gonna have to wait on that for a moment. Mint and Karma also used ult in that fight, so they put the kitchen sink in pretty much. The only thing that's left now is the grab for Alice. Is it going to be good? It finds a couple, but they're not able to do anything off of the back of it, and now the kill feed starts lighting up red. 99% for the North, so they've been able to get themselves into a good position, but they're not going to be able to see this over the line just yet.
That was close though. I mean, so far the North is fighting back tooth and nail, matching the South in their preferred playstyle. That said, overall, a pretty intensive fight from both sides, so no ults on the board, or expected Ellie will be building up to a pretty quick one with this Freya poke. That said, can't very much post the sim rotate because they're already on the point. High energy for Alice, to say the least. So how can they find the kick? Is she able to get the value with a bubble? Cavo flirting and skirting with death, but able to just barely cling on for the meantime. Mint not so fortunate there.
Yeah, very good job by Cavo to avoid Sheep on the Venture for now, but it's Eloy that's finding the kills to start off with. Sheep finding one onto Alice as well, and now you can see the damage of the Freya and how much they're able to put out in this composition, and just being able to hold this bridge as well is going to be very good for them. They're going to have to wait on the TP to be back if they want to go for that play again, but they might decide to rotate round to the other side. It looks like they're starting to favor that way, so potentially another TP towards the point coming very soon. Just waiting on that for now. It looks like they're not going with it though, just deciding to play in the room with the mini for now, but yeah, not working out for them. 3 kills for the DPS of the South, and now it's getting to action stations for the North. They have 99%, but they need point control back.
I mean, they're trying to go Juno for much of speed, but the issue is they just need to get aggressive onto this backline. Eli just spamming them to the moon and back from these high positions. Karma, though, has a wall built up. Cavo close to another sound barrier. Eloy and XE both have their ults just around this corner. Double support ult also available in just a second for the South. The wall on point is good. The grab is out. I'm not sure where to put onto someone. The beat able to finally get online, and Sheepy, though, yet again found another first pick. A second one to come with it.
Yeah, this bench has been devastating, but goes down. Alice is able to find the quick melee, but with all this in front of her, I don't think she's going to be able to do too much against this formidable South team, and a very good job by them to take this first map of Lijiang 2-0. And while they were stalled out to 99% to start off with on Gardens, they did look very strong in this matchup.
I mean, that swap to the Freya was just everything it needed. Like, Freya just untouched in the sky, gloating from the high ground, just spamming bolt after bolt, farming up bowlers. And I mean, when you have the Sim and you have the Lucio, you have to take advantage of the mobility. And they did a really good job of that for the first half of the point, just speeding onto the front line, taking advantage of their overwhelming presence there. But once the retake was happening, they just kind of funneled in through a choke where Sheepy's just very happy to lurk around and get some sneaky little picks there, and ended up just spiraling out of control. The Symbol came out as well. The beat was good to counter the grab, but in the end of it, you have a Kitsune Rush Zarya that is just pumping out damage to basically no stop. That said, though, it was competitive from the North. I think this is a pretty stacked roster against them versus the South, so that kind of performance at all is really, really impressive, to be honest with you. And it shows that the North are able to adapt and try and match the South style with their own little twists on it. But I guess your question now is, how do you deal with the Freya? If you're going to play that kind of a style, you're going to try and take advantage of the lack of speed on the backline of the South. How do you then capitalize on that when every move you make, there's a bowler on your TP, there's a bowler that's taking a step out? This Freya is kind of just untouchable. Maybe a Diva would be so good to kind of deal with that, but then you lose the help for your own venture. These are all questions that have to be in the mind of the North, and they also have the alternative options to dealing with this, rather than just in-game play styles, but also coming down to map picks and the hero bans. But I wonder where do you think that the North are going to try and bring the South in this matchup, seeing that initial burst of success with their venture sim compositions? I wonder where you think that's kind of going to be the best suited for.
I think it's clear initially when they started, they just wanted to they didn't start on the Zarya. It's not what they wanted to play, but they had to conform to it just because that was what was going to work against the opposite comp. I don't see them doing anything other than banning the Zarya, to be honest. But I mean, you look at good maps for the Rush, really, to be honest, because I feel like, again, that's still what they want to play. You saw them come out on 3 speed heroes to start off with. I think they probably hit the speed cap coming out and trying to take server control to start off with the Shout, the Juno Ring, and the Amp Speed from the Lucio. So obviously they want to play something more of a Rush style, but we'll see where they decide to go. I think we have had the bans in already. They've decided to go to Suravasa, which I really don't mind. And they have banned the Zarya of the North, which I don't find surprising in the slightest. The South have banned the Lucio, though. And always an interesting one to see a Flashpoint map played without the Lucio.
Yeah. I mean, the speed boost, especially in this map, makes teams play the Juno Brig a lot of times. And Suravasa, we'll see in just a moment here how that play out, because, Lucio is such a main staple of the game. But I think it makes a lot of sense. You have 2 flexible players that don't play Lucio. Lucio is very strong in team play scenarios, and on Suravasa, a map that is so wide and has so many fast points that go along, you need that speed boost. So maybe we'll see a Juno come out. We did see the Juno come out, of course, from the north just a bit earlier at certain points. But it's a weird hero, I'll be honest. Like outside of Juno Brig Malga, which is I sincerely hope does not.
It's a comp that exists in the game. Shall we say? We just hope that it doesn't exist in this one.
No, that's a good way of putting it. But I think that it will allow for the South to play their much more preferred styles. The Zarya ban as well is interesting because Alice did look pretty good on that, so I understand why that's taken out. And XE is hovering the Queen here. Soldier as well from Ellie. I mean, this is probably the best Soldier map in the game outside of like Queen Street. I see a Mercy. Do you see a Mercy Avalanche or am I?
Yeah, I do see a Mercy. Yeah, that's an option that's been chosen. They are going to go for the Juno Brig.
It's staying
with Jihyun and Cavo. But yeah, it has stayed, and it looks like it's going to be all in dive. Pretty much. You've got the Sombra and the Tracer. Mint's already in with the manual hack. But my word, his poor Mercy has not lasted long. And I can't see it staying for too long either. Cal's going to get the first kill after the manual hack from Mint, who finds the second as well onto Eli. So good job there from the two DPSs. And Mint, Alice is just going to stay around the support line, make sure that Jihyun and Cavo aren't walked on by this Venture and Junker Queen. It's going to be first point capture as well for them. But this Venture really doesn't do well with the manual hacks, and Mint finding Sheep as well isn't able to get out from XE, but the damage is done. Unless Eloy coming back as well with the Mercy pocket. It's just going to run over the other team. XE as well on the Junker Queen is going to slice them down. Fabius finding the final kill, and although it started out very well for the North, the South finding their footing there.
I mean, we're basically seeing the two split the teams, right? You have the Tracer Sombra of the North. They're going to be trying to effectively hit their dives and hopefully with some follow-up from their Diva. And then the Juno Brig kind of just pocketing their Diva, moving around, playing their life. On the other side, you're going to have this Soldier Mercy split always in the longest angle possible, just peppering away enemy team. Meanwhile, XC, the Curie, and Sheepy will all try and kind of aggress in their own individual ways and play to get that big hit forward with that Queen shout. That said, going to be desync at the moment, but Mint staying a little bit longer than their welcome. Will there be an aggressive Kitsu here trying to get this fight? I wonder. Maybe there's an ult response. No, it's going to be even more kills racking up for the side of the South here. And now 78%, you have a very fast composition, but can you get an effective touch here, especially as Alice is still very much under duress? Maybe even have to bomb this. The Pokemon comes out, is going to be a connection onto Ellie.
Yeah, potentially you get the res if you want it, but they're not even able to get the touch onto the point. Jihyun as well goes down late in this fight, and now it's looking even worse if you are the North. They're just about able to get away with getting a trade onto Sheep, but now they're just going to try and lick their wounds and make sure that they can get to the next point with no more casualties. Sola's under a little bit of duress on the Mercy, but not enough that it's going to be too much of an issue. And look at the ult bank that's coming into this next one. Alice deciding to switch over to the Orisa, but 5 ults ready for this second point capture for the South, and we'll see which ones are used, but they have to put in the cleanse already to get away. And even though they put in the Venture ult, they lose both the Kiriko and the Venture early in this fight. Cavo and Mint doing a good job to trade it back. It is point capture for the South in the meantime. They're going to get a res onto Fabulous as well, so 4v3 for the meantime, and it looks like the North isn't going to be able to fight back into this one. They do have 3 ults of their own, and it's going to be Mint looking for a big EMP to start off this next one, potentially onto these 3 players up here if they can find it. It's going to be the Ray though to start off with, completely countered out by the Rampage, finding both supports. Sheepy's there to clean it up, and it's a clean hit onto Alice as well, and even though you switch onto the Junker Queen, you can't do anything about that one.
I mean, XE is always just a delight to watch on the tank roll, but also it's just great awareness to stay the Junker Queen into, with the Lucio ban, you know they're going to play a Juno Brig, and Queen is also going to that. And that's kind of a stagger there onto Mint there, which is basically going to guarantee this fight is going to be more than Scotch. You only have Cavo's Rally to work with versus a Kitsune Rush that could probably just obliterate your tank if you stay it too long, and you have to touch into it because the point's about to go down. Karma's going to get the flank touch most likely, but this front line is still just going to fall over.
Yeah, another kill immediately onto Alice, and a nice headshot as well coming around the corner onto Karma. Kava gets one in Mummy Sheep, but again, the domination at the moment from the South hasn't erred at all, and they're going to take this second flashpoint. It's going to need to be a reverse sweep for the North if they're going to come out on top and avoid going down 2-0 in this best of 5.
Yeah, I mean, as mixed feelings as I have about the Mercy into this composition, when your DPS are putting in performance like this, why not enable them with that kind of a pocket, you know? Like, Ellie is just standing at the back, popping some headshots, and now, like you said, we're one map away from going into series point here, and they still have this Kitsune Rush around the corner. And both DPS ults building up pretty quickly, especially from that Mercy damage boost. Karma going up to a Pulse Storm, it's going to be a real X factor if they can hit it, but they see them, you know, their ideal target is Mercy, but what's a lot more difficult to deal with is the casting. Then again, Alice just falls over. The XE in the front line there. Cabo trying to make a hero play with this rally, but despite the Pulse Storm from Karma finding the kill, it's just all kind of a silent death just because the Kitsune Rush completely runs over that front line. There was no you know, even attempt to be able to try and dodge the wrath that was unleashed from it. Ooh, Mint gets a trade
as well. You get one. I mean, that's better than I thought was going to happen, to be honest. Cavalry coming all the way over for Mint. He's going to be 97% to that Deadeye. So something that they're going to have in that next fight. And they switch Karma over as well. So they're going to have the double hit scan. But, my word, this is going to be very dangerous to walk into. Sheep's already decided to let the Ventral rip, and as it gets to 73%, you're going to need a touch from somewhere. You don't have the speed to get in. Cowboys decided to switch over to the Mercy as well. You don't have anyone that can get to point easily. Mint's going to go down to Sheep as well. It looks like it's going to be another one. The zoning of the Deadeye is going to take down Alice as well. Karma tries to get to point. Cowboys not going to be able to make it. And Jihyun isn't going to make it there either. The South take a 2-0 lead in a commanding fashion on Surabasa.
I mean, clearly Mercy is just too OP. You've seen it here first, folks. Like, I am joking, but I mean, when you play it like that, when you play it to the strength of knowing that you can just, you know, have the Mercy play with the bodyguard of the cast in this kind of symbiotic relationship where being able to cast and the cast enables the Mercy to some degree. You fully take advantage of that by just punishing that front line over and over and over again, especially because the start of that map was so heavy on the double flex DPS. We even saw the North move over to double hit scan right at the very end, kind of in recognizing that their front line just was struggling. Alice was struggling into the onslaught of damage. The cast swap from the soldiers level leans more even more rather into that. And we just kind of saw the North trying to figure out again, trying to adapt to see what is the right direction to go in, because the Juno break versus the Queen does the struggle. Your ult matchup, the Queen can just always have her ult for that Juno orbital raid to come down. And yes, maybe the rally can be somewhat of a counter to that, but also the Brigand to the Queen, so much her abilities just bleed through the shields. It makes her such a difficult life to try and live in that kind of a matchup there. So it was a great ban as well, I think, coming out from the South. That said, the North still have their chance to go for a nice reverse sweep. We've seen a few of them over the past weekend. And the North, they've shown their signs, they've shown their flashes of brilliance there. And I think they're just still looking around for their kind of composition to play. Once they find that, I think, like we saw on that Lijiang, they find some solidarity in how they want to play the composition, they will put back a fighting force.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good job from the South just to make sure that those hits didn't work to start off with. Apart from the initial hit onto the Mercy and the Soldier with the manual hack from Mint, and then followed up as well by, I believe it was Karma. Apart from that, you didn't really have anything working for them from the double dive DPS that they were trying to play, and where you were trying to play that, and also you didn't have any follow-up really from the Diva, who was trying to play around the Juno and the Brig. You couldn't really work around what your composition wanted. It was just sort of split. So they'll try and enable themselves a little bit more as they go into this next pick. And I've just seen the North pick and ban. The North pick New Queen Street. That's okay. That's sort of even. But the ban of the Venture, I mean, Sheep's just been able to do whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to do, they've just been able to run over the North at the moment on the Venture, and I can hardly say it's a surprise that that's been banned.
Yeah, I mean, the new Queen Street for me, what does that signal? I mean, typically some of the strongest picks we see on this map are things like the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, we have heard of a switch as well happening. So Mint's going to go over to the tank role. So it could be that Mint wants to play something like a Wrecking Ball, and they're going to try and lean into that. I mean, I'm all for it, trying to find some answers to these questions that the South are posing to them. So if you want to go for that, I wouldn't be against that one.
I think as well, it takes advantage of the fact that it's a map where, again, you'd like to have the speed boost. It's a map where, you know, you just want the speed boost to get more fights in general because of how the bot moves and whatnot, and how the spawns are. It's quite a wide map, so having those rotations without a speed boost can be very, very taxing, especially if there's a hit scan poking you out or a Wrecking Ball hit coming in along the way. So I think it's also a smart pick to go there because you know that you have an advantage in that Cavo will play speed boost characters or even Gion, whilst it's unlikely that that'll be in the repertoire of the South team. That said, Soldier Mercy on this map, unironically, it's pretty good. Like, you can kind of just sit your Soldier on a cheeky little off angle, sprinting on around, using those legs to full effect, but now at even more lethality. And the Mercy again kind of just play with that Soldier off in Narnia effectively. Still waiting though for the South's responding ban. Losing the Venture has been a key part of their strategy so far. That said, Sheepy, from what we've seen in the Women of Binary main bracket stage to where they ended up winning the whole event, also does have a very strong just general hit scan. So maybe like I could see a Freya Soldier here, kind of an angle, just because those could both work pretty well. The North banning the Venture as well, a natural kind of enemy of the Symmetra is that Venture. So maybe you want to go back to what gave you that success on Lijiang, where you looked your best, was with Karma on the Symmetra. And again, a wide map, no speed boost. I think that's maybe the angle they're going to go down, or maybe one of the possible angles. But also, like you said, Alice coming in off of the tank roll to Mint, who was on the hit scan, if my knowledge, and then the hit scan going with to Bull. Bull has hit scan weapons, so
yeah,
close enough.
I'm
right?
not going to mention the other tank hero that has hit scan weapons. We're not going to bring that up and put anything on that. But yeah, we'll see what they decide to go with. I think it revolves on whether Mint has the capability to play that Wrecking Ball, because I think immediately that's what New Queen Street says to me, especially if you're switching someone off of the DPS onto the tank role. But we'll see in about 30 seconds what they decide to go with when it pops up for us now in Canada. But yeah, well, I don't know what was the ban as well from the South. I didn't quite catch that one.
I think I don't know. Maybe they would ban. What was the problem? Maybe they can't ban Sim because the DPS ban prevents another DPS ban follow up.
They've already banned the Lucio.
I see a ball from XD.
Yeah, Mint's going to be on that. Well, it might have been to switch Alice in to play the Reaper. I don't know.
Zarya Reaper is a good combination.
It is a very good combination.
You can argue that Zarya is the DPS's tank. You just kind of get some charge and start walking around beaming with some good tracking. And we do see a Soldier. Unfortunately, could it have been Mercy? Like, unironically, could they have banned Mercy? I don't know.
They might have done. We don't know, but it's going to be Cavo on the Kiriko with Jihyun on the Juno, so something to see here. Mint's going to use the solo bubble to start off with, so losing one of them without getting any charge, which is going to be a little bit annoying, but they're playing back at the moment. Eloy has found the trap, though, just about able to get away, but not for long. Alice is trying to find some kills with these double shotguns. Instead, it's going to be Mummy going down to Cavo initially. Good job there by the supports of making sure that the dive wasn't going to find them out that easily. Exi is still in those backlines and trying to find something, but the dive goes in the other way. They're going to force the Suzu out just to make sure that Fabulous can stay alive, but Jihyun found Eloy and Karma's found Solo as well. Good job following up as well from Mint, making sure that Fabulous goes down. It's only going to be Mummy Sheep back in this one as Exi's trying to find some sort of a kill, but is going to be forced away by Alice. Good job there from the North, taking control of TS1 to start off this one.
It's a strong start from them. I mean, this Reaper just keeping on a speed boost less backline is a terrifying force, especially when it's paired up with a nice hack from Karma or a bubble as well from Mint. That's it, the whole team gathered up here. Pretty difficult for Exi to land the hit, but you have to be aware of a slam coming and any kind of follow-up from the rockets or from the bullets of Sheepy. And that's just like clockwork. Eli on this angle, just finding the shots with the assistance of their Sombra and their Bull. A big slam in comes in as well to force out the cleanse, and Exi likely just to leave out there. Job well done enough. They can recuperate quickly enough in time to get another hit back in before this cleanse come back up. That's a lot of what the Bull combo is about. Getting us some mini fights and mini engagements to whittle down the resources so that finally when you get that fight, there's a real engagement. They have nothing, and your cooldowns have come back that much quicker to find execution. And that good start is slowly slipping away so far from the North. The ults are building up as well, and I think part of the issue is your only real survivability for your backline is going to be them carrying each other and a bubble. But if you have to bubble yourself or your backline,
big EMP, but a good job there from Jihyun to make sure that Mummy Sheep doesn't get anything off the back of it. And I mean, that looked like it was set for some dead and buried North players. A good job to avoid the sleep there from Alice as well. Finds nice one bubble onto Solar, but they've lost a couple of players in the meantime. The backline has fallen. Exi's down low, but now has the support of Fabulous to make sure that Solar, or Alice, sorry, is not going to be able to get away. A good job there, and Mint cleaned up as well. And just one thing I'd like to know, even though they haven't quite gotten to the forward spawn yet, it's just how much space Exi's been able to take on the Wrecking Ball.
I mean, I was caught off guard by it. I'm guessing that the North was as well. Just how fast they were going with that EMP. Like, no kills came through, but clearly the disruption enough was there. But there were 4 ults on the side of the North. And then none of them were able to invest just how aggressively the ball position goes along. The Hog now as well doing everything they can to punish and really make Exi's life miserable. But the Soldier pops someone on the flank with a nano boost as well. It's been a while since we've seen this combo, but really wishing it was longer if you were a North fan here, because LA is just shredding through a 4K, maybe even a 5th. She takes it in the end, but this could be a full cap here. Both support still available. EMP from Karma as well. It's only the Kitsune Rush, maybe the Minefield as well online for the South. So this next fight should be done and dusted with the ults, but even just with some raw firepower there as Mint. I'm guessing this hits the hook on Ally, but Exi's still finding trades.
Yeah, it's so dangerous, this Wrecking Ball. They're not able to get away from it, and Mummy Sheep's going to find the manual hack as well. And to Cava, good job there from Alice to make sure that it's not followed up on, though. Min able to take out Fabulous as well. That Kitsune Rush is off the table, and it's just going to be Exi going back as well. They're going to try and get some more pressure onto Exi. The manual hack is there from Karma, and you do have the EMP as well to put into this next fight. But so it's going to have to be careful just to make sure that the hook doesn't land onto that Ana, not the most maneuverable hero. And a good job as well by Exi to make sure the manual hack doesn't come out. Now caught in the middle of nowhere is Mint, stuck in a minefield, and Eloy finds 2 as well. Both of the backline goes down again. Alice is going to try and find something on the point, going to phase through the minefield. But look at how easily you're just able to take that space from them, and just caught in a trap here as Alice, and maybe someone else is going to be caught in the trap here. 4 HP surely goes down, and yeah, Sheep's going to be able to find it eventually. Mint as well going down low, not able to escape, but finds Sheep. Good job hitting that hook at least. It's going to be a question of how fast they can get this bot back to the objective.
Yeah, I mean, both these tanks, you know, Mint and Alice coming in have looked pretty good, but the issue is a lot of these threats, it's so difficult to clear them out. Like, Karma has to try and mark the ball, but also mark this Soldier as well from just having the side, and Alice has trying to keep on the backline, but also help shoot the ball out. There's a lot to do all at once, and that said, a Juno is the best way to support him doing all that. Again, it's Ellie just sitting in the back, uncontested, never mind, in the front line, with a visor on the Casino Rush, and uncontested or not, because they have all the firepower and the backing in the world to just shred through the North. And we're back where we were just a moment ago. We still have some full ults to work with for the North, and this time there's going to be another late stagger, a minefield, and a nano boost. The North are very much under threat of a full cap here.
I think Ellie's tired of waiting in the wings, wants to get this full cap here, because the Soldier's going full aggro, finding those staggers, but Mint finds cheap to start off this one. The minefield is out on the point, so it's going to be a dangerous touch, and a boot in for Cavo, not able to get away. Karma goes down as well. Xy's going to be a menace onto Alice. Jihyun found as well. It's only going to be Mint surviving with the bot there, but they're going to be able to get that capture point back quickly. No one's going to be able to touch
Alice,
and that is going to be it. It's going to be South winning our showcase event today. A 3-0, a clean 3-0, and my word, it just seemed like there was absolutely no stopping them when they were on form.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple bits of disruption at the start, and again, there were definitely those flashes of brilliance coming out from the North. I mean, Mint on the hog, not look I expected to see, but just first pick after first pick. Karma on the sim, also a difficult hero to make work in the circumstances, and got them that 99%. Both supports as well, Cavo, got them arguably the most of the early lead with those opening headshots onto the Sombra. Jihyun as well, being able to play the Juno in the time of need when the Lucio was banned also definitely helped to open up the battlefield a little more. But the South, I mean, you have to give it to them. There's a reason they are our returning champion. There's a reason why they have two of our non-binary NSE champions on board, and they just know how to play together. They have the star power and the firepower, and they do take it with a 3-0 sweep. Not a non-competitive one by any means. They did have to work for it. But that said, a 3-0 nonetheless.
Yeah, they did have to work for it, but I mean, some of the players coming out, you could see how much they were putting into LA, and the ability that she had to make sure that it was going through. I mean, you're putting so much into that DPS player. Your DPS player needs to make use of it. And she was completely doing that. I mean, you saw sort of 3-4 kills, almost had all 5 as well at one point with that nano visor. And yeah, if you are putting in the nano visor, you need to make use of that. And we saw that exact thing happening. But when you're putting a lot in, you need to get a lot out. And as well, you saw just silently Xy getting on with the tough job as well. You saw just how much space that Wrecking Ball was taking on New Queen Street, just being able to go in, slam, force the team back around the corner when they were pushing the bot forwards. And that whole situation happened again and again and again. You were finding sort of 1-pick, 2-pick on people trying to come back to the point, or on people trying to force forwards, and found maybe a little tiny bit out of position. And it felt like whenever someone was very slightly out of position on the North, someone on the South was there to counter it.
Yeah. I mean, it was just Xy versus Alice was, definitely competitive in terms of the Zarya matchup. Like on the first point, they kind of were going blow for blow at some points, but the flexibility that Xy had, I mean, it's kind of rough if you go to New Queen Street, like arguably the best ball, not in the strongest spot he's been in historically, but still, very workable, as we saw Xy really putting in the numbers there across that entire map. And it does feel rough to kind of not be able to take full advantage, but the swap up, it clearly wasn't. They felt that it was needed to try and change the tempo and try and change the fate of the match, but it was just unstoppable from the side of the South in the end. And I believe that I don't know how many times in a row they've won this, maybe 3? I know at least 2.
So. I think it's something like that.
I think so, but
and I give credit as well, because the North, it's very difficult to adapt on the fly. We talk about some players go in, and especially when you get into some sort of playoffs, and they've been able to see the team that they're playing against for ages. They've got this massive, oh, we've gone and done the numbers. We've got everything planned. We've got every single ban and map pick planned. But you can't do that in a tournament like this where the teams are coming together like that. You have to adapt on the fly. And you could see them trying to work it out, and the amount of looks, especially on Suravasa, I think they went from that Sombra Tracer dive on the DPS to eventually being on double hit scan, which meant that they weren't able to touch on the final point. But you could see them going through the motions, even trying to switch over to the Symmetra on Lijiang Gardens. And then as well, you saw more things come out on New Queen Street, and they were trying their best to find an answer to the South, but they were just able to walk through everything from them that the North put in their way. It looked like the roadblocks were sort of being set up, and then suddenly out of nowhere just burst through immediately by the South from one player going in and having a massive play. And as well, we said before how much these two DPS can just pull off a big play from out of nowhere. And that is something that you really want in a team. You don't necessarily need it if you're playing sort of
nice
together, but it really helps, you know, for just to be able to have a player go, I'm going to take over the map. I'm just going to go and I'm going to kill like 3 of their players, and then we're going to win the team fight. Just easy as that. And it felt like that was something that was definitely happening a fair few times.
Yeah, they had that X factor to pull it off, even in the more difficult moments. I think back to the first on Control Center, where that first 2 picks I think came from Alice, or I think onto Mummy Sheep and someone else, I can't remember, but still the support. We also got, of course, the DPS clutching up, but the support and XE really all just kind of Power Rangers fused together and able to somehow turn that down 2 situation with the help of a nano boost into a win. I think really was like a bit of a warning sign of the level that the South were playing, to be able to turn that kind of a favorable position for the North into their own pretty astonishing win at the end of it. And I mean, if you can Soda died first once, I think, on the Mercy and Suravasa, and I thought that's it. You know, you're playing Mercy into Tracer, Diva, Sombra. You tried it.
It's going to be a very long day.
But then they really just kind of synced up with their hit scan, synced up with Ellie, playing those much safer lines where the Sombra just couldn't get to them. The Diva just couldn't get to them. And if they did, they would get completely shredded on that long, arduous journey across the whole point, where the rest of the team kind of was free to do whatever they wanted. And I think that's very impressive to make a Mercy that's, overall difficult to fit in, quite a situational hero, but able to fit it into that, I think definitely does deserve a shout out.
Yeah, well, we are setting up for an interview now. Just waiting in the wings is Ellie. So we're going to have her in very quickly to talk about this this tournament, I guess, and a couple of other things as well. There we go. We can see Ellie's cam just there. So welcome in with us. Hello, congratulations on that win. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you very much. Good stuff.
Well, it's great to have you here, Ellie. We met on the train in Stockholm. It was nice to see that you were not only in the shortlist, but also made it onto the team. I guess best place to start is at the beginning. So what was your first thoughts when you saw the team on the side of the South that you were put with? What were your thoughts on how do you best build around player strengths, and maybe even how to try and counter any strengths you knew about that North squad that you faced just now?
So one of the main things when I initially saw the lineup was the fact that we had everybody on one role. We had a tank player, we had 2 DPS players, we had 2 support players, which unfortunately the North team did not seem to have. And I thought that building into that kind of, taking advantage of that as much as possible was definitely going to be our key to winning. And obviously, I knew pretty much all of the players that were on my team, and I knew they were pretty solid. So I knew that I could trust all of them to do everything. So we just, needed to play good fundamental Overwatch and just not get cheesed, because that was kind of gonna be like how they were gonna try and win. Definitely felt like they were gonna try and like do some weird stuff and try and take advantage of that, but we just needed to stop that.
Yeah, well, speaking of levels of trust, we saw a lot of levels of trust put into you specifically on Suravasa with the Mercy coming out as a pocket for you. Is that something that you'd discussed beforehand, or was it just hey, let's go with it, let's see how it works?
So we were playing Ana Kiri on the previous map, and it's mainly just the fact that Ana is very bad on Suravasa. And I think, especially with the Lucio, there's kind of nothing that you can do about a soldier just like sitting in the other side of the map, especially with a Mercy pocket. And again, just like trying to not kind of get, everyone just killed at one time. It just helps us extend that fight and just kind of play to our strengths,
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think in my head the whole time, like, who would I give like a potential MVP role to? I'm tempted to give it to yourself, but you probably know the best as you played in the actual server, so you can see all the things and feel all the things that we were just limited to. So if you had to shout out some members of your team, do you think put the work in, put the performance on, who would you? Of course, all of them had a good.
Yeah. Obviously, all of them. XE specifically, it was absolutely fantastic player.
Yeah,
doesn't die, basically amazing. Also, another special shout out to Mummy Sheep, who was not on her main role because I can't play Flex DPS at all. So we got her on Venture, and that was fantastic. Like, very well played for someone who's not on their normal character. Yeah, but then also both supports just didn't die, kept me alive very well. Everyone was good, but I think the real star performance was definitely XE, I think.
Yeah, just one more question as we're a bit of a show match to showcase the W&NB part of our community. Is there anything that you would give as a shout out to anyone that would like to get involved in a tournament like this, where they would sort of go, or sort of how to get into the tournament from, or just esports in general, as a member of the community?
Well, specifically for uni students, I would absolutely recommend just signing up to tryouts on any team. It doesn't matter how good you are. I signed up to tryouts for my uni when I was very bad at the game. And I tried out. I was not on the first team. I got put on the second or third. I don't even remember. And it was like, but I think just being around people, because every uni has people who are really good at the game, and just being around and hanging out with people who are insanely good at the game, and it's an easy way to get access to that, is the number one way to kind of get better and start participating. And also, they can find you a team, and you can scrim together if you all kind of want to, and you can participate in tournaments, and it gets you used to that kind of play. I think what NSE and also USS do is absolutely amazing, because I don't think I would be nearly where I am without them. So I would just sign up and see what happens.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your win as a member of the South team today. Congratulations, and we're going to move on to shouting out as well the Esports Coven, which is a great place to go if you want to find tournaments like this, if you are a member of the W&NB community. Stuff like these tournaments, and also the tournaments that we mentioned prior, the W&NB overall tournament that was hosted earlier on in the season by NSE. Stuff like that will appear there. Also, thank you to NSE's partners of Monster, Pringles, and Pot Noodle for supporting us for this tournament. We will be back with you tomorrow with another show match of W&NB players this time around in Valorant. I'm going to be joining you again for that one tomorrow, but we're going to sign off for now. Thank you to everyone who's been doing our production behind the scene. We've had Reclaimer observing and Kenny as well on our production, and of course me and Nat joining you for the cast. But yeah, it's goodbye from us for now.
Many years ago, a supercomputer designed a perfectly shaped chip, Pringles. Knowing one day, gamers would need less mess to help them stay in the game.
What's the daisy?
Pringles, mind-popping.
Let's go!
Monster Black.
Monster Blade! Nice.
Monster Blade.
Monster Black.
That right there, Monster Plays of the Week.
Okay.
Monster Energy is doing a monster site giveaway.
NSE stay-at-home series
supported by Monster Energy.
Come with us. The new generation. The next level. Sending it big.
You're in for a good run. Let's go.
Come with us to the track, to the trails, to the slopes, to the surf, to the fight, to the race.
Look at this.
To the 4 a.m. starts. Training harder, pushing further, hitting back. Hard. To the fans, to the followers, and the haters. Come with us. To the blood, to the sweat, and the broken bones. You rehab. We never quit. We never give up. We take control. To the world titles. To the world's first. The world's best. Come with us. We're just getting started.
It's going to be so much fun. I promise you.
Level Up is this amazing brand new gaming and esports festival hosted by Unidays, and you've got so many cool partners and brands here. It's basically built for students.
As you go through the event, you're going to level up as you go. So level 1, we've got the entrance maze, and then we go through, and there's a bunch of different levels for you to try out. We have retro, we have reflex machines, we have the consumables area, and finally we have the AFK zone, and our UX stage is the final level.
They've been doing the slurp challenge where they have to make the loudest slurp and get some amazing prizes.
The ultimate drip for 2025, the pot noodle bucket hat.
Mr. P's been doing some crazy shenanigans. We've had an insane Rainbow Six Siege series. It was crazy, it went all the way.
Roehampton, as usual, winning the Rocket League.
It's just great fun seeing everyone all together in one place.
It's so enjoyable playing on LAN. It's just a completely different experience.
NSE is like a huge part of my university life, and I think it's just a great competition.
It's probably one of the best experiences I've had in uni so far.
Obviously, a massive shout out to our headline partner, Uni Days, for creating this whole new experiential event for all the students.
Shout out to UD Days and NSE. This has been wild, really, really cool.
Shout out to the commentators, the organizers, and the players for turning up today and giving it their best.
Play some games, get some tokens, open some prizes, yeah.
It felt cool, felt good atmosphere.
It's been a great first event. Thank you to all of our partners, all the teams, all the players, everyone that came to watch and engage with our first awesome Uni Days Level Up Live.